Throughout history, wealth has been shrouded in mystery and coveted by all. Yet the ancient civilizations understood something that modern consciousness has largely forgotten. Riches are not merely the accumulation of material goods. They are the manifestation of a precise alignment between the physical world and the spiritual forces that govern existence itself. From the Phoenician merchants to the sages of ancient Egypt, from the mystics of India to the philosophers of Greece, true wealth consisted not in gold or possessions, but in the conscious attunement to the energetic flow of the universe. The ancients knew that prosperity was not accident or luck. It was principle, law, a cosmic mathematics that governed the rise and fall of empires and the abundance or scarcity of individual lives. Yet here we stand in the 21st century, surrounded by more financial tools and resources than any previous generation possessed. We have cryptocurrencies and investment platforms, credit systems, and monetary instruments of bewildering sophistication. And yet, the majority still struggle with economic instability. The paradox is stark and unavoidable. More tools, more information, more access, and still, the struggle persists. This is not by chance. It is because we have forgotten the foundational wisdom that the ancients possessed. We have separated wealth from energy, money from meaning, abundance from alignment. We have made wealth purely material, when the ancients understood it to be something far more profound and holistic. The truth is this: the ancients did not merely chase money. They understood the laws that governed its flow. They recognized that wealth was a living force, a river that could be channeled, a vibration that could be raised, an energy that responded to consciousness itself. In this journey, we will unearth those secrets. We will explore how the sages and merchants of antiquity generated prosperity, what principles they applied, and how those same timeless laws operate in your life today. This is not theory, divorced from practice. It is ancient wisdom, made actionable, spiritual principle, converted into daily habit. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to learn will not merely change how you see money. It will transform your fundamental relationship with abundance in every dimension of your existence. The ancients possessed no advanced banking systems, no stock markets, no digital ledgers. Yet their civilizations accumulated wealth at scales that would astound the modern world. How did they accomplish this? The answer lies not in their tools, but in their understanding of the principles governing abundance. The Egyptians believed that wealth was intrinsically linked to Ma'at, the universal principle of order, truth, and harmony. A pharaoh, merchant, or peasant who lived in alignment with Ma'at attracted prosperity naturally. Conversely, those who acted contrary to this principle experienced scarcity and disorder. Wealth was not merely a resource. It was an energy that must circulate with purpose and gratitude. The Egyptian priests taught that words possessed power, and that the manner in which one spoke of money determined its flow. This is why affirmations and positive decrees were central to their prosperity practices. Wisdom that modern spiritual philosophies have only recently rediscovered. The Phoenicians, regarded as the great merchants of antiquity, understood that wealth must not be hoarded without purpose, but must flow like water. They created trade routes spanning the Mediterranean, becoming one of history's most prosperous civilizations. They applied a law of balance. Everything given generously returns multiplied. This principle, reflected in tithing laws and reciprocal exchange systems, remains valid today. The Greek philosophers, Aristotle, Plato, and the Stoics, held that true wealth did not consist in accumulating possessions, but in cultivating wisdom and virtue. Aristotle spoke of eudaimonia, the flourishing that emerges when one lives according to their true purpose. The Stoics taught that the mind must be trained to attract wealth without attachment or greed. Marcus Aurelius affirmed that he who masters his thoughts masters his destiny. In India, the goddess Lakshmi represents wealth in all forms, material and spiritual. Teaching reveals that abundance flows when one lives in harmony with Dharma, one's life purpose, and practices genuine gratitude. The ancient Taoist sages spoke of Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. This does not mean inactivity, but alignment with the natural flow of life, allowing wealth to arrive without resistance or anxiety. These civilizations understood a truth now buried. True wealth is a combination of mindset, energy, and conscious action. Now that we understand how the ancients perceived prosperity, it is time to extract the specific principles they applied. These are not mystical fantasies, but operational laws that governed the flow of wealth then and continue to govern it now. Understanding and applying them transforms your relationship with abundance fundamentally. First, wealth flows as energy in movement. The Egyptians, Phoenicians, and Taoist sages recognized that stagnant wealth decays. Money must circulate, not recklessly, but with purpose. Give generously to causes that resonate with your values, invest in your own growth, and trust that what you release with intention returns multiplied. The universe responds to flow. Second, the mind is the source of prosperity. The Stoics and Greek philosophers taught that perception shapes reality, and training the mind was essential to attracting abundance. Your internal narrative about money, whether scarce or abundant, becomes your lived experience. Change your thoughts about wealth, and you change your destiny. Third, alignment with purpose, or dharma. The ancients knew wealth flows naturally to those engaged in meaningful work. Discover what fills you with energy and what value you can offer. When your work serves genuine purpose, abundance follows naturally as a consequence. Fourth, discipline and patience. Great empires were not built overnight. Sustainable wealth requires consistent effort, sound habits, and willingness to think in terms of decades, not days. Quick schemes lead to instability. True prosperity is built gradually. Fifth, exchange of genuine value. The Phoenician merchants did not hoard. They created solutions. They identified what the world needed and provided it. Wealth flows to those who generate value. Others recognize and desire. Sixth, community and collaboration. No ancient civilization prospered in isolation. Tribes and guilds thrived through cooperation and shared networks. Your prosperity is intimately connected to the strength of your relationships. Seventh, spiritual wealth as the foundation. Internal peace and clarity precede material abundance. Tend to your emotional and spiritual well-being, and material prosperity naturally follows. Eighth, the power of intention and manifestation. Words, thoughts, and visualized images are creative forces. The ancients used mantras and visualization to program reality itself. Understanding these 8 principles is valuable, but intellectual knowledge without embodied practice remains merely theory. The ancients did not simply contemplate wisdom, they enacted it daily. They built their lives around these principles, creating systems, habits, and rituals that channeled prosperity into their reality. To apply this knowledge in your modern life, You must translate these timeless principles into concrete, actionable steps. The challenge is not understanding, it is consistency in application. Begin by cultivating a genuine abundance mindset. This is not positive thinking divorced from reality, but training your perception to recognize opportunity and resources that scarcity-minded individuals overlook. Examine your beliefs about money. Do you associate wealth with something negative? Do you believe it is difficult to obtain? These limiting beliefs act as invisible blocks to prosperity. Write them down, challenge them. Replace them with affirmations. I am naturally prosperous. Wealth flows to me easily and abundantly. I deserve financial freedom and use it wisely. Next, become a genuine generator of value. Identify the skills, knowledge, or talents you possess that others need. The ancients did not wait passively. They created prosperity by solving problems and serving others. Invest in your education relentlessly. Develop expertise. Become so valuable that prosperity flows naturally as recognition of your worth. Apply the law of exchange consciously. Give generously, but strategically. Support causes aligned with your values. Share knowledge freely. This is not naive charity. It is understanding that the universe operates on reciprocal principles. What you sow, you reap. Plant seeds of abundance everywhere. Build and nurture your network intentionally. Surround yourself with people of growth mindset and generous spirit. Learn from those who have achieved what you seek. Collaborate rather than compete. The greatest fortunes were built through relationships, not isolation and hoarding. Finally, honor the spiritual dimension of wealth. Meditate, practice gratitude, and cultivate inner peace. Your emotional and spiritual state directly influences your ability to attract and maintain abundance. A turbulent mind repels prosperity. A peaceful, grateful consciousness becomes a magnet for opportunity. These practices, applied with discipline and consistency, transform abstract principle into lived abundance. Beyond practical strategies lies a deeper mystery the ancient sages understood with profound clarity. Money is not merely a medium of exchange. It is energy, a vibration, a force that responds to consciousness itself. The Egyptians used sacred words and decrees to program the flow of wealth. The Hindu traditions taught that abundance follows those whose vibration aligns with Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity. The Taoist masters spoke of energy cultivation practices that attracted wealth as naturally as a magnet attracts iron. What they understood was this: energy follows attention. Money flows toward consciousness that respects it and treats it as sacred. Conversely, money flees from those who despise it, fear it, or treat it carelessly. This is why the ancients engaged in rituals and practices designed to elevate their vibration around wealth. They were not being superstitious. They were applying sophisticated understanding of how consciousness shapes reality. When you speak about money with fear or resentment, you lower your vibration. When you speak about it with gratitude and respect, you become magnetically attractive to opportunity. This is where affirmations gain their true power. They are vibrational programming, conscious repetition that reprograms your nervous system and elevates your energetic frequency. I am prosperous and abundance flows through me was not spoken casually, but intoned with full feeling, full conviction, full embodiment. Similarly, visualization was understood as energetic creation. When you vividly imagine yourself living in abundance, feeling the emotions of prosperity, you are constructing an energetic template that the universe aligns with and materializes. The ancients also understood gratitude as a frequency amplifier. It shifts your consciousness from scarcity to abundance instantaneously. When you genuinely thank the universe for what you possess, however small, you signal that you are a receiver of abundance. The universe responds by sending more. Finally, honor money as sacred. Treat currency with reverence. Keep it clean, organized, and blessed. When you organize your finances with care and attention, when you track your money with intention, you elevate its vibration and attract more naturally. The ancients did not leave their understanding of prosperity to chance. They encoded it into systems of sacred numbers, symbols, and frequencies, vibrational keys designed to unlock abundance consciousness in those who understood their meaning. The number 8 held profound significance across multiple ancient cultures. In Chinese philosophy, 8 represents infinity and abundance. Its curved form suggests endless flow and cyclical return. The Pythagoreans understood 8 as the number of material manifestation and wealth accumulation. When ancients repeated affirmations or engaged in practices in cycles of 8, they were aligning their actions with a frequency known to magnetize prosperity. This was not arbitrary, it was precision. The spiral appears repeatedly in ancient wealth teachings. The spiral represents growth, expansion, and the eternal principle of increase. It is found in ancient coins, temple architecture, and sacred texts across civilizations. When you visualize your wealth expanding in spiraling patterns, growing exponentially outward, you are tapping into an archetypal frequency recognized by human consciousness as prosperity and evolution. Gold held sacred meaning beyond material value. Gold is the metal most resistant to corruption and decay. It represents permanence, incorruptibility, and divine value. The ancients understood that surrounding yourself with the color gold in your clothing, your environment, your visualizations, elevates your vibration to match the frequency of lasting wealth. This is why the wealthiest individuals throughout history have surrounded themselves with gold and golden light. Sacred geometry functioned as a tool of alignment. The golden ratio, 1.618 to 1, found throughout nature in flowers, shells, and human proportions, was understood by ancients as the proportion of divine abundance. When you design your life, your business, your finances, according to sacred geometry principles, you align yourself with natural laws of growth and prosperity. The ancients also worked with specific sound frequencies. The 528 Hz frequency, known as the love frequency, was believed to program matter itself toward harmony and abundance. Modern research has begun validating what ancients knew intuitively, that specific frequencies shift consciousness and matter toward states of greater coherence. Finally, sacred symbols programmed consciousness deeply. The lotus, rising from mud to bloom in pure light, represented transcending poverty. The phoenix, rising from ashes, represented unlimited regeneration. Meditating on these symbols programs your subconscious with archetypal patterns of prosperity.